When they both sat down together, loved to hear the nightingale sing.
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review for The Nightingale. This is Jennifer Kent's second movie after The Babadook. As this is an older movie guys, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch. However, if you don't mind spoilers or if you've seen the movie, then continue watching. Claire, an Irish immigrant who is the property of the English Colonial Army, specifically a character called Hawkins, a lieutenant looking to move up in the ranks, is assaulted by Hawkins, but then later on, Hawkins then assaults her again in front of her husband and her infant daughter. During the second assault, they kill the husband in front of the baby and Claire, and then they go ahead and kill the baby as well. After they killed the baby and finished with Claire, they tried to kill her, but they didn't kill her. She survived. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's probably one of the most, if not the most disturbing scene I've ever seen in a film. Claire survives and then she sets off to seek revenge for her family's death. She enlists the help of a Tasmanian Aboriginal tracker named Billy to help her catch up and get revenge on the guys. During the hikes, it becomes a bit of back and forth between Claire and Billy, and then you've also got Hawkins and his crew who've got a bit of back and forth as well, because Hawkins brings on his crew with him, as well as some convicts that Claire, similar to Claire, and they also come across other Aborigines throughout their journey. They also bring on a guy called Charlie, he's not related to Billy, but he's similar in the same tribes. The reason that Hawkins is on his way somewhere else is because he wants to prove himself and get to his other destination by the next day so that he can get promoted from lieutenant to something higher. Claire and Billy start off as complete strangers. All she does is use him as a tracker, and she's not totally racist towards him to begin with, but she understands what he's going through. But they do begin as complete strangers, but throughout their journey they share a little bit of moments between each other, as well as the need for revenge. Ultimately, Billy sacrifices himself at the end of the film because he knows what Claire has to do needs to be done, otherwise it won't be fulfilled. So he is the one who feels like he should do that for her. The last scene was absolutely powerful. There is a moment where he's on the beach with Claire and you see the sun coming up, and it's almost like it symbolises a new day and a new dawn of something better. The film was an emotional powerhouse movie from the start to the very end. It's more about this character study between not just two characters, because there's other characters in it, but especially between Claire and Billy, because they're worlds apart. She's Irish and he's original from Tasmania, and they've got nothing in common apart from trying to get revenge on Hawkins and his crew. But what's interesting to see is how the people are treated. This is set in 1825 and they don't shy away from the fact that there is racism there, but they don't just tiptoe around it. It's full-on racism, as it probably would be in 1825. Just like The Babadook, and like I said, it's more of a character study. It's almost like you're putting yourself into these people's shoes, whether it be Claire, whether it be Hawkins or Billy. What would you do in their situation? How would you react? The characters also felt really realistic, especially for characters that are set in 1825. Claire didn't become this Rambo type character where she just learned on the way and she could do anything she wanted. She was still, right up to the very end, still a scared woman. All she wanted to do was get revenge, but because she wanted revenge doesn't mean she became this Hulk-like character. She was still scared to fire a gun, and when she fired a gun, she was missing completely. She would try and stab somebody, but it wouldn't quite work of it to begin with. So she was still trying to be herself, but she was getting lost in that rage. Billy was really interesting as well, because at the beginning he didn't care about anyone. His tribe were getting killed by the English Colonial Army, so he didn't really care what people thought of him. He just thought, do you know what, I'll take the money and I'll do the tracking for you. But as the film progressed, as he learned more about Claire, learned more about the people that he was tracking as well, he became a little bit more of a understanding type of Tasmanian Aboriginal. He grew more attached to Claire as the film went on. He shared a bond with her as well, something that he'd never really had with any other white person before. There was this moment, and I completely broke down at this moment, where him and Claire met up with this old couple, and the lady in the house put his bowl down on the floor with a spoon while everybody else sat at the table, and then the old man stood up and said, right, come and sit with us. And then Billy just burst out crying because he was saying to them, this is my country. you took our country from us and I'm basically the one that's eating like a dog. The film was set in 1825 and it really did feel like that time. Obviously I wasn't around during that time, but the film didn't feel artificial whatsoever. It felt like you were genuinely there, from the characterizations of everybody in the film, the clothing that they were wearing, the scenarios that they were in, the shacks, the houses, everything about it just felt so authentic. Before making the movie, Jennifer Kent actually went into these places around Tasmania. She really researched everything about this film, how the Aborigines reacted. She even brought in one of the tribe leaders, who obviously is living today, and asked them for advice on what they would do and how they would react. She even brought in a language that hasn't been used ever in any film before, so they were doing things that were really unique and authentic. She really put herself in their shoes as well, what they would do, how they would react to certain things that would probably be happening in 1825. It was incredibly well shot, absolutely stunning. There were some horrific moments as well, not just involving the assault, but there were scenes where Claire was having some nightmares, and it was quite scary as well, but visually stunning. I take my hat off to Sam Claflin, who played Hawkins, because the things that he had to do in the film were horrific. The things that he had to say were also horrific as well. So the fact that he was able to portray a really bad person, we loved this character because he was so amazing at the role, but we absolutely despised him. I can't believe I waited 6 years to watch The Nightingale, and the only explanation I can give myself is that The Babadook was so amazing. It's an absolute masterpiece that I thought to myself, there's no way a director, The Babadook was her debut film, and I thought to myself, there's no way that a first-time director can go into a second movie and do something almost as good as The Babadook. And I was completely wrong, because I was blown away by The Nightingale. Honestly, guys, this film was a complete knockout. I was totally disturbed by this film as well. It was one of the most disturbing films that I've seen. And it's funny because a couple of days prior to watching this film, I watched Longlegs, which was quite disturbing, and then Longlegs felt like a Disney Pixar film compared to The Nightingale. When a film can do this for all the right reasons, it's definitely done its job. Something that I love about Jennifer Kent's work so far is that neither of her movies are overrated. I'm calling them masterpieces in my personal opinion, but when you look online, they've got average scores. I think The Babadook's on like 6.8 out of 10, and The Nightingale's like 7.2, 7.3 out of 10, so they're nowhere near the top 250 on IMDb. They're just films that I personally feel are underrated. Some will say they're overrated, which is impossible, but for me, they're completely underrated masterpieces. So if you've seen The Nightingale, guys, let me know what you think of it. Do you like it as much as I do? Do you think it's a masterpiece like I do as well? Leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!